Obviously, either of these turbochargers are gonna make more horsepower and torque than a naturally aspirated LS6. But it takes finesse to make more horsepower and torque at the entire range of power on a rotary than it does an LS6. Introducing our LS killing GT 3584 RS. I'm extremely thankful for the amount of viewership, the engagement, the comments, all of that on this video series. We are hauling ass and we have less than 3 weeks. I fully understand that seeing this car appearing to be in the same condition looks like the progress isn't being made. This is not Junkyard Wars or any of those other heavily edited TV shows. This is a real project with some heavy engineering. It's smaller than the 4-rotor, but still a very real project. I am sharing with you some of the biggest changes that we're making to the car right now. Obviously, continue liking and subscribing and all the other bullshit things that YouTubers tell you, but please keep up the engagement. This has been one of the greatest changes for this channel, and it makes everything, including the 4-rotor, even more possible, which I've got massive news for those of you on Patreon right now. Oh my God. I just spent 60 grand in 5 minutes. As many of you saw, I've been using my 80 mil turbo, my 4508 from the 3-rotor as a placeholder on this car. Instead, we're getting what is supposed to work right. This is the 3584 RS. This is a nasty Gen 2 Garrett turbocharger. It's funny because the very first turbo, my turbo slice turbo from years ago, was a GT 35, so it comes full circle. This thing is so damn efficient, so capable, that we're able to make more horsepower and torque off of a stock 2-rotor versus an LS6. Yes, it's a modified engine versus a standard engine, but let's look at it. 1.3 liter versus 5.7. Pretty big difference there. Only problem with the RS is that this is a V-band clamp. We made the mistake because Turbolone sent me a sick, stubby, short exhaust manifold. It fits perfectly for the Corvette. Check this out. Obviously, you've seen this in the earlier video when we first received it, but look at how perfect this is. The only downside is that's a T4 flange. The RS does not come with a T4 flange. We just got all this in from ATP Turbo. I bought all this. It's worth it. These are all the nice flanges and fittings and gaskets meant to make one of these turbos run. This is for the downpipe. There's the oil return. You let it drip out of, drip. You got that drip coming out of that GTX. The inlet with the nice little restrictor, probably built in there. It's very restrictive there. And of course, the T4 flange. Well, why is there a T4 flange gasket? Because this isn't fully recommended by Garrett, but ATP makes an actual twin scroll 1.06 V-band outlet. Jesus, that scared me for a second because I saw V-band. T4 inlet housing for the GT 3584 RS. Let's put this on and make another one of our own custom turbos meant for our weird ass projects. Let's see, make sure it's the right thing first. Okay, this is the correct thing. It's kind of funny, look at it looks like a snail. Doesn't it? Let's go swap this onto the turbo. God, that's so small. Swap this onto the turbo and get this thing mounted up for the final time. Okay, those scare me too. I was like, I ordered all these other parts. This is a 3.5-inch downpipe, but they actually make a little 1/2-inch extender that'll get it to, I think, 3.5, because we're actually gonna make this thing escape. The exhaust is going to escape more seriously out of this Corvette than a typical rotary. All right. That is a 1.2 something AR, and funny enough, it scared me for a second off camera because I see V-band, and I realized what they mean by V-band is this outlet. This part is not V-band. It is amazing that on a non-rotary car, this is up to 1,000 horsepower turbo. That's just mind-blowing that turbos have gotten this efficient and look so small and flow so little looking that they're capable of so much horsepower. That is the only reason this rotary Corvette even exists, and it's probably the best marketing for, honestly, for Garrett, that their products are so good that such a small engine can be competitive against a massive displacement. So that worked out on accident. One of my biggest fears, I've had nightmares about this, is taking apart any of these turbos, having the exhaust blades showing, and then just dropping the turbo, just crushing a blade. Wow. There we are. There's the exhaust housing.
It's beautiful.
Or housing, exhaust wheel. It is beautiful. What's also nice about this guy is it is oil in, oil out, coolant in and out. So this is it uses the radiator to help cool the center rotating assembly. Now, time to put this one on. There's going to be some trial and error on these turbos because we don't know exactly. We don't know exactly how this car is going to respond to this type of drivetrain. Nobody's done this entire drivetrain before. Obviously, there's a lot of rotaries with T56s, but not the rear transaxle and all of that. So I'm curious to see what works best for this combination. But this is certainly going to spool appropriately and make some beautiful, beautiful noise. It looks like it's machined with a little bit more tolerance, or less tolerance. See how far the blades are from the edge? The reflection kind of throws it off. I'm gonna compare that to the, see look at that? I don't mean to damage anything, but see that? I would expect the blades to be closer to the edges. Just for everybody's information, I paid for all this. I paid for this piece, so I'm allowed to bitch about it. I like supporting businesses. Let's see. Yeah, look at that. The Garrett exhaust housing is way closer.
How bad can that make that?
We could be losing some spool. There could be some spool missing. Really, I guess it doesn't matter as much because, you know, the air is coming in from the side of the blade, from over here, obviously, and then that's exiting, but it's definitely not exiting off the tip of the blades. It can exit off the side of the blade. I am not a aerodynamics / fluid dynamics expert, so I can only speculate, but that is weird. Every single turbo I've ever seen is much higher tolerance than that. And I should note, I may have said it earlier in the video, Garrett doesn't recommend this. It's not like it's gonna blow up or anything. They just say that it's not its peak performance for this turbo. The turbo's so good, you can actually put yourself at a slight disadvantage. Are these the ones I used on this one? I think so. Can't remember which are which.
Oh God.
Oh God.
Oh God.
Oh God. Okay, so make sure you guys use the correct hardware and the correct housing instead of just focusing on talking to the camera. There we go. There is our Corvette turbo. So let's take this new hybrid baby, put that on. We're not tightening all these things down until we know everything's fabricated and all connected together properly. Loosen all of these. That's not bad though. That's not bad at all. We have to do a little bit of shaving down on parts. Ideally though, it'd be nice to have the air coming out down here and route it around for low simplicity, but this is perfectly fine too. So this will come over and then go to the front side there. Well, back here we got tons of room. Look at that, plenty of room for like a PTP turbo blanket. Nice and clean there. Obviously we're gonna have some sort of wastegate coming off of the exhaust manifold, and then a downpipe curves and down, nice and clean. So that is the final setup right there.
How close is the actual turbo to touching the lower intake?
They are touching, not right now, but that's because it's also not resting fully. So yeah, you can see there's a little touch. Both have excess material that we can shave down for that slight. Thank God. I mean, I was a little worried, but look at it. It's so close. And the lower intake's also not fully tightened. It's just on one bolt. Everything is so close.
That's sick, dude.
Yeah.
That's sick, bro.
It's kind of sick. I want to see it from your angle. The bend in the, and that is the natural bend in the frame, was meant to put a turbo there. Natural, I swear. Not the bad bend. Yeah, turbos are one thing, but we also went and picked up the rest of the body panels. You heard that right. This car doesn't look like a monstrosity anymore. Look at this. We went over to Chatsworth, which is the porn capital of the world again, to pick up the rest of the parts from Sean Pilot. This is the magic behind so much of this car. Everything bolts to it. Like we erroneously figured before, the hood latch goes right there. All the ECU secondary stuff goes there. And then we start having like the whole power system mounts to here, and then coolant overflow, and more headlight stuff up here. This car's gonna look like a car so quickly.
Now these little, see these little clips?
Yeah.
They bust off a lot, and you got to be careful because you're going to adjust this lid. What you're going to do is once you fit it all in there, get that on.
Yep.
You know, there's the studs there that go through here. Once you get this on and all adjusted, you'll see, hopefully you get lucky, and the lid will fit flush on everything. Okay. It's all about the gaps and how it looks, but there's a bunch of adjusters right in here that you take off the bezel, you take off the lid, and there's a sliding plate on the top of this thing with adjusters where it can actually, the whole lid can kind of swivel like that or like that.
Yeah.
And actually move, because you want to get your gaps right. You know, it's all about the gaps.
It's all about that.
Which reminds me of my old girlfriend. But don't put that on me. All right, my little trick, this is what I like to do. This is all pretty smooth already, and I get it down to where there's no extra glue on there. I get it all nice, kind of like that, all really nice.
Yep.
And then I get the side of the car, I sand that all down. I just want to get the fiberglass, because on your frame, if there's still glue on it, there should be some fiberglass left on there. You almost want to just sand off what's left of the fiberglass. Leave the glue, because the glue is adhered to the frame, and that's the secret. You're not filming this. We look like a couple of knuckleheads.
We're filming this.
Sean did not give me a discount. Sean, you bastard. Look at these beautiful dimples. How'd you do that to me? He went all in. He went all in. He knew that this project means that I'm spending stupid money on a car. He took advantage of me. So we got the wheelhouse, which is basically a fancy word for a lot of weird fiberglass. He also told us the proper way to install it, so we'll be taking his advice. But this is still, at the end of the day, fiberglass. You can see that there's one blemish that could use a little bit of reinforcement. Not a big problem there. So this allows us to put the car back together. Instead of just being like a wheel well cover, no, that's what the fender connects to. We've got another Z06 fender. This is sick. It also came with the most gaudy, oh my God. I apologize to my C5 owners watching this. This, to me, this line, this bumper line or whatever, that goes down the belt line that goes down the side of the car is one of the ugliest things on a Corvette. And a silver is also, I'm sorry guys, I'm gonna piss off some people. A silver Corvette with those belt lines is pretty ugly. I can feel the voodoo dolls being stabbed right now. And then, this is no longer, I can't get you guys to play padiddle with your girlfriends. We now have two headlights. Let's go ahead and throw those back on. This is 5 minutes of work, but this car is gonna look like new. Those are the two only bolts that hold this piece to the frame. Everything else is glue, 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 and then a flappy glue thing right back here. This was my favorite weird what? You can still see the glue on the frame right there. We're gonna use the fact that we had to replace certain parts. We're gonna put the headlight cover back on. The headlight cover is all one piece of metal, bolts to the frame and bolts to this. So it's like secondary frame. These, I'm already digging these more than the RX-7 headlights, because the RX-7 headlights are so fragile. Although, hey, I'm a newcomer to this car industry, the Corvettes. I'm sure there's like, everybody knows, oh shit, the C5 headlights are shit. And here I am like praising them. Good car reviewer you are. That's pretty nice. Things are moving along. Today's the day. Take the 2 steps back and see how the Corvette looks. There's no motor in it, so it's gonna be sleepy. Oh yes, that's a car. That's a Corvette. And then here's the crowning moment. This actually shouldn't be a problem because these two pieces are all the same piece, so nothing's connecting anything weird. Body fitment, don't worry about that. God, that body line, belt line thing's ugly. There we go.
You going?
I cannot stand that. Guys, I've realized I don't like this. The whole car's trash now. That's worse to me than any Hellcat owner that leaves the yellow shipping guards on. That's worse.
Piss so many people.
I know. All the guys that have those things are like, wait, what's wrong with that? And the other guys are like, oh, we're not like the Hellcat owners. That sucks. Rob, you're a dick. You guys want to put the hood back on? Want to see what it looks like, the hood back on? You do, I do. By the way, pile, I did this. This is my finest 3 a.m. ideas. Pile of stuff that needs to go back on, pile of stuff that stays off. Look at how much LS stuff does not go back on this car. This is it. This is all that's left. Windshield wiper fluid reservoir, coolant overflow, battery, you know, the 12-volt battery setup. And then we're over here because of the hinges for the hood. This is actually also our first moment of making sure that the frame is straight. Of course, everything's passing flying colors there. I'm really curious if this hood's trashed. But too bad for that hood. We're running it anyway. Poor hood's been just in the corner. I don't know. It has to be the original hood, but it's like all gooey and weird. Let's see. They're not in tight. This hood looked horrible when we originally got the car. It was really messed up. But still needs tons of fitment. This isn't a fitment test. It's a fitment test.
It's a car.
It is a car. But because the panels look so bad, that little bit of fitment makes it look like it's barely hanging together, which is true. There you go. There we have an actual Corvette, straight in frame, multiple colors. We're gonna go ahead and button all these down. Very straightforward. I think we're gonna leave the fender off while we're pulling and putting in radiators and all that sort of stuff, because why make more work for ourselves? It's easy to get in from the side. There you have it. We have a Corvette. We have an actual Corvette. As a little bit of a heads up for LS Fest, I think what we're gonna do is keep it covert as to the color we're actually going to wrap it, so we can sneak in, because this video series has gotten actually more attention than I was expecting, but like what I was hoping for. And so it would suck to get kicked out of LS Fest before we'd even being let in. So we got some plans on how to make it in there secret spies. Jarrett's been pretty depressed, and I was like, dude, look at this. Like, I know that you're really upset and bummed out, but look at how amazing this shot is. This is the last shot before we leave you guys. Pop this hood open. LS, nope. Boom, that looks cool as hell. That looks so cool. So as this continues to get better, hopefully Jarrett gets in a better mood. Guys, let Jarrett know that it's okay.